So first of all, of course, I'm honored to be here, and on behalf of the 2,000 Azimut Benetti group employees, which makes our company possible every day, and the Vitelli family, I thank you all for being here and give us your time and attention. Before going into the details of how we do what we do, we think that we want to talk a little bit about yachting as a concept in general. So yachting is the leisure and recreational evolution, if you wish, of water transportation, and is the only form of water transportation which is not designed to generate any revenue for who practices it. So the people which enjoy yachting and boating, the only purpose they have to dedicate their time and money to the activity is to enjoy and admire the incredible environment that our world has to offer. So without a healthy environment, there wouldn't be yachting. So by default, yachting people are extremely sensitive to what the environment is concerned. Another point which we think is important is that yachting is a congregational activity which involves families. Very often we have up to 3 generations of the same family boating together, and kids are always the center of the attention. So exposing kids to the environment in the way yachting creates a generation of more sensitive people in the world. And I want to share with you a brief personal story. I've been working in the marine industry all my life, and so does my wife. We have a little daughter, her name is Zoe, which tells you something about our feelings about the environment already. And she's 8 years old. She's been boating since she was in her mother's belly, obviously. And we expose her to the environment. The first time she dove with me, she was 4 years old. One day we were having lunch outside, and a 5 years old little girl asked for her drink without the plastic straw, which is bad for the fishy. And we were like shocked and proud. Of course, she did it before our legislators started banning them from by law. So that is a proof that yachting does create a more sensitive population towards the environment. So now going into the details of our company and how we do what we do. The Azimut Benetti Group was founded 50 years ago. I'm sorry. 50 years ago, again, I'm sorry. 50 years ago by an extremely passionate yachtsman, Paolo Vitelli, which runs it today with his daughter, Giovanna Vitelli, which, like mine, started yachting and boating when she was in her mother's womb, probably. So innovation has always been a very significant strategic pillar for our company, and that affects also the way we deal with the sustainability of the environment. So we have invested tremendous energy into developing our product in the most environment sensitive way, which means in our field, design the most efficient hulls possible, and efficiency in hulls means that they have to have the less resistance to move forward in a fluid. And through a very sophisticated software that our R&D department has developed, along with model tank testing, we have created families, specific family of hulls designed for the specific purpose. Within this family, every model is specifically designed and tested for its own size in order to obtain the most efficient hull possible, which translate into less power needed to move it forward, and therefore less horsepower, less fuel to burn, and less emission. So that's one direct impact of our investment in technology, which reduce the emission, our fuel consumption, and consequently the emission by 25 to 30%. By designing hull in a much more sophisticated way than the past. Another way that we have challenged our R&D and technical department was to find new materials that could be introduced in the product to make it better, to innovate it. And one which we think is interesting to mention is carbon fiber, because typically carbon fiber is associated to performance. People think that when you have carbon fiber involved is because you want to go faster, and is absolutely not the case in our product. So our target speed of the models, which are highly, extensively carbon fiber content, didn't change. What did change is the weight, and again, therefore, the power needed to move that weight through the fluids, and therefore, fuel consumption and emissions. So we have been able to reduce weight of the same components from 30 to 50%, which in turns reduce, again, power, fuel consumption, emissions. And of course, talking about emissions, I mean, we thought that giving you a brief data about hybrid propulsion, which is a very common in the last decade, 15 years, was appropriate. So we have been a pioneer also in that segment. We started working on hybrid propulsion in the middle 2000. We introduced our first hybrid propulsion production boat in 2011 with a 50 hybrid Magellano, which was called 50 Green, as a matter of fact. And we have been working on hybrid propulsion ever since, and hybrid solution. And we are going to launch this coming summer, 2019, a 330 feet ship, which is capable to sustain whole system on board for 12 hours without any power generator and any emission. So we're talking about a ship which is 330 feet long, which will be capable to spend every night on the planet with zero emission. On top of the same battery banks allow her to navigate for 15 nautical miles without zero emissions. So we've always been, and we are very sensitive to power, to hybrid propulsion. Another few subjects that our R&D and technical department are involved with are more in the future, and just to give you a few information of what they focus their effort on and how they are working to build a better future, are European Community Finance project, nanotechnology, foams developed to do not produce pollutants in case of fires on board. Then we have a project which involve the anti-fouling paint without biocides. Again, a challenging project which we are deeply involved into. Project of recycling glass and carbon fibers from finished product at the end of their life cycle, so extracting the fiber again to reuse them in new products. And last but not least, a very challenging one is to design product which are already, we start with the purpose of being dismantled to be recycled in the future. So this is how I think we could summarize our effort and paint properly the activity of yachting. So I have the privilege to live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida since 15 years, a little bit over a mile from the beach. I can assure you we need to worry much more about what we left on the beach every weekend than what the yachting industry does to the environment.
Thank you very much.